Yeah, started.
So, good evening, everyone. So, in this session, we will be talking about one of the most popular and useful JSON library, that is Google Gson. Okay. Let us get started. So, this is an agenda for today's session. What is Google Gson? What are the various features of Google Gson? What are the three ways of processing JSON? And Gson versus Jackson. So here we will be comparing these two different JSON libraries. Okay, so this Jackson is also a library which is similar to Gson. So both are providing JSON data binding support for Java language. Okay, so the next one is Java Gson class, and finally we will have a demo session at the end of the presentation. Okay, let's get into the topic. So what is Google Gson? So Google Gson is a simple Java-based library which is used to serialize the Java objects to JSON and vice versa. It's also Google's JSON parser and a generator for Java language. Okay, so this Google Gson is a Java-based library which is used for serializing the Java objects to JSON representation and deserializing the JSON representation back to an equivalent Java object. Okay. Moreover, this Google Gson is an open source library which was created by Google, but initially it was developed for their internal use and open sourced it later. Okay, so if you look at below, I have given a few points which highlight why we should go for this Gson library. So this Google Gson is a standardized library which was managed by Google, and it's also efficient and highly optimized one. It also provide support for Java generics and complex inner classes. Okay, so these are the brief information about this Google Gson library. Okay, let me move to the next slide. Okay, so actually there are various features of Google Gson. I just mentioned here a few among them. Okay, so as I said in the previous slide, this Google Gson is an open source library. We can easily download and set up it for our use. Okay, so the next feature is it's very easy to use. Okay, so this Gson API will provide a high-level packet to simplify commonly used use cases. Okay, so the next feature is performance. So performance-wise, this Google Gson is quite fast and is low of memory footprint. It's also suitable for large object graphics or systems. So the next one is a clean JSON. So this JSON library will generate a clean and compact JSON result, which will be easier to read for us. Okay, so no dependency. Yes, there is no dependency. So this JSON library doesn't require any other dependencies apart from JDK. Okay, so these are all the prominent features of Google JSON. Okay, so let us move on to the next one. So this Google Gson API provides three alternative ways to process JSON data. Okay, so the first one is a streaming API. So the streaming API is a low-level API which will read and write JSON data as discrete tokens with the help of JSON reader and JSON writer classes. So this JSON reader is a class which will read uh, JSON encoded value as a stream of token, and this JSON writer class will write the JSON encoded value to a stream one token at a time. Okay, so in this model, this each JSON data is considered as an token. Okay, so these two classes will read data as JSON tokens. Okay, so when you use this JSON reader class to process the JSON data, so it will be processed each token sequentially. Okay, so the next model is a tree model API. So this tree model API is also called as object model API. It will prepare an in-memory tree representation of the JSON document. Okay, so it builds a tree of JSON object nodes. This tree model API is also similar to DOM parser for XML. Okay, so the next model is a data binding API. So this data binding API will convert the JSON to and from POJO class using property accessor. Okay, so this JSON will read or write JSON using data type adapters. Okay, so actually there are two types of data binding. So one is a primitive data binding, another one is a object data binding. So in primitive data binding, we will convert this JSON to and from Java list strings, numbers and booleans. Okay, So whereas in object data binding, we will it will convert JSON JSON to and from any Java type. Okay, so this is how we, this JSON API process the JSON. Okay, let's move to the next one.
So Raghavan, one quick question. Like you mentioned, like the behavior of tree model is like a DOM, like it loads everything. So can we compare the string API similar to like a SAX model, where like it's like event based, or like as and when we see a tag, we process it. Similarly, it is something like that way, the streaming API.
Uh, yes, sir. I read about that, but this streaming model is also similar to that SAX parser, sir.
Yeah, it's
I
similar
read
to
about that.
SAX, right?
Yes, correct, sir.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
So let's move to the next one. So here, Gson versus Jackson. So as I told you earlier, this Jackson is also a JSON library, which is similar to this Gson. So so both are created for the same purpose. That is, so both are created for the same purpose. That is to serialize the Java objects to JSON and vice versa. Okay. So so currently I have chosen these two libraries because these two libraries are being used on many projects. Okay, so that's why I have chosen these two libraries. So initially this benchmark test has been performed on the libraries for both big and small files. Okay, so this benchmark testing is basically to assess the performance of the libraries. Okay, so here we will be assessing the performance of Gson and the Jackson. Okay, so uh, so next one is this. So this benchmark test is mainly tested two key scenarios. One is the parsing speed for big files and the parsing speed for small files. Okay, so for big files, for big files, they did 10 iterations per run for each library. Okay, so for each library they did 10 iterations. Each small file was iterated 10,000 times. Okay, 10,000 times per run for each library. So if you look at the table, the sizes of the big file and the small file has been given. Okay, so the size of the big file is 190 MB and the size of the small file is 1 KB. Okay, and also the time is calculated in milliseconds. Okay, so so if you look at the average results across all test runs, this Jackson library took less time, that is uh, 13 seconds, nearly 13 seconds it took to pass the big files. Okay, so for big files this Jackson came out very well ahead on the big files. Okay, so according to the small file results table, so I think that, so can you see the average results, sir, here?
No, you can escape it and show it in a non presentation
Yes.
mode.
Okay. So according to the small file results table, if you look at the average results, so this Jackson library, right? So sorry, this Gson library took less time, that is 2 seconds. So it took 2 seconds to pass the small files. Okay, so so this is my observation from the benchmark test. So if our environment that deals with big JSON files means, then we should then Jackson should be our first priority. Okay, so in this case JSON library will be struggling most with big files. Okay, so suppose if our environment that deals with lot of small JSON file means, then we should go for this Gson library. So in this case, Jackson library will be struggling most with the small files. Okay, so this is an observation which I taken from this benchmark test. So so the next one is Java Gson class. So this Gson is the main class in order to utilize this Gson library. So before we use this Gson library, we must create new Gson object. Okay, so there are a couple of ways to create a new Gson object. So the first way is a new Gson. So this is a common approach. Using new operator, we can create an instance for this Gson class. So For JSON with the default configuration, we can go for this approach. Okay. So the next one is a new JSON builder dot create method. So this new this JSON builder is a class which is used to build a JSON with various configuration settings. I mean various configurations methods. So this JSON builder has many configurations methods like serialize nulls, set date format, and set pretty printing. So these are the some of the configurations method. Uh, it has many configurations. I just mentioned here only 3. Okay. So so if you want to build a JSON with various configuration settings, the following is an example which shows how to build a JSON with various configuration settings. Okay. So here initially we will be creating an instance for this JSON builder class, and then calling it any one of these configuration methods. Here I have invoking this, I have invoked this serialize nulls, and then finally we will be calling this create method. Okay. So this is how we build a JSON with various configuration settings. Okay. So so, so, so that's all about JSON introduction. So let me demonstrate how to do serialization and deserialization using JSON library. Okay. So let me go to the code. Okay. So I just created one CRUD application called as bank account management, which has 3 basic bank operations such as deposit, withdraw, and check account balance. Okay. So in that application, I have utilized this JSON library to serialize and deserialize the objects. Okay. So if you see here, I have created one model class called as account holder. So this account holder, which has many attributes like account ID, account name, account type, whether it's a savings account or current account, bank name, IFSC number, mobile number, and account balance. I have also written the getter and setter methods for all these attributes. Okay. So let us move to the next class. So this is my DB service class. I have created my own DB service class, which has one static method called get instance. So when you invoke this get instance method, which will create and return the instance for this DB service class. And also one more important method is a get connection method. So when you invoke this get connection method, it will return the database connection. Okay. So this is about that's all about DB service class. So the next one is I have created one interface called iAccount holder DAO, which has 3 abstract methods: deposit, withdraw, and check account balance. So each abstract method having a couple of parameters. Okay. So so the next one is a DAO class. So so this DAO class which implements the interface called iAccount holder DAO. Sorry. So this so in the header of the class, I have imported the 2 different classes, JSON and JSON builder. So if you want to utilize the JSON library, we must import these 2 classes. Okay. So inside this deposit method, I have created one method called serialize. Okay. Which has one parameter. Let me show you that method. Sorry. Okay, so this is my serialized method. Okay, so which will return the JSON string. Okay, so initially it will create the instance for this JSON class, and then calling its toJSON method. So this toJSON method is used to parse the account holder object to JSON representation, and finally it will return the uh, JSON string. Okay, so once that JSON string has been returned, we will be inserting into the database. My MySQL is my target database. Let me show you. So here I have created one. So this is our database, BAM. That means bank account management. So so this BAM, which has one table called I have created one table called account holder. So this account holder having many attributes like account ID, account name, account type, bank name, IFSC number, mobile number, account balance, and finally on attributes. So this attributes of type JSON. Okay, so here we will be storing all the JSON representation. Okay, JSON string. Okay, so let me run my code. I already compiled the code. I just execute it. Let me execute it now. I have created this UA using Java FX. So let me deposit. When I click on this deposit, it will navigate to this page. Then I'm going to enter the details like already. So initially, so account. So we have to enter the account ID, then account holder's name. Here we have to choose the account type, whether it's a savings account or current account. So in our case, we can select savings account. Then bank name, I just give it as ICICI. Then IFSC number, then mobile number. Okay, so and finally I'm going to enter the deposit amount. I am going to deposit 30,000. Okay, so let me deposit. So once we have deposited successfully, we will be getting this pop-up. Okay, so this alert pop-up. So amount has been deposited successfully. It will also show this current balance. So current balance is 30,000. Okay, so let us go to the database and check whether it's an added or not. Okay, so let me refresh it first. Okay, so if you see here, Vijay Raghavan KA, so there the entry has been added here. So this is our JSON. This is our JSON representation of this object, right? Okay. So next I'm going to deserialize this JSON string back to Java object. So let me go back to the code. So I have also written one method called check account balance. So in that method, I have written the method called deserialize. Okay. So this deserialize, which has one parameter. Okay. So let me show you that. Okay, here. Okay. So this deserialize will return the object, right? So initially we will create an instance for this Gson class. Sorry. So initially we will be creating the instance for this JSON class and then calling its from JSON method. So this from JSON method is uh, used to convert the JSON string back to an equivalent object. Okay, so which has two parameters. One is a JSON string, another one is a account holder class. Okay, so this account holder object. Okay, so let me show you that. Balance inquiry. So let me enter the account ID. So it will show like current balance is rupees 30,000. Previously we deposited 30,000. That's why it's showing. Then it will show the additional details like account holder's name, account number, IFSC code. Okay. So that's so next is a withdrawal method. Withdrawal method. So if I'd like to withdraw 5,000 from my account means then account name. account ID, IFSC number. So if you want to withdraw some amount, you have to enter these four. You have to enter the uh, data for these four fields. Then only you can withdraw, right? Okay, so IFSC number, number. Then finally you will enter the mobile number. So withdraw amount. So already we 30,000 in my account. Now I'm going to withdraw 5,000, right? So the balance will be 25,000. So amount has been withdrawn successfully. Current balance is 25,000. Okay. So let us check it's update whether it's an updated in database or not. So we refresh it. Updated. So that's all from my side. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, this is good. So this UI you used which tool? Used
JavaFX.
JavaFX. Okay.
JavaFX, yes, sir. I just created this application for my learning purpose, sir.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's why
So what are the libraries required, like the jar files required for this?
for sir, for creating UI, sir.
No, this Google JSON.
Only just let me show you that, sir. So here library, right?
JSON.
Only
Okay.
JSON is enough, sir.
Okay. JSON. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Good. Anyone has any questions? Okay. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Raghavan. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.